Man, I know we only did a couple of events, but I think we're getting a good feel for this game. So, hey everybody, what is up? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to episode 2 of my Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Let's Play. In the last episode, all we did was he basically just got an intro to the game, did the first couple intro missions for both the cop side of the career as well as the racer side of the career, explained to you how I was going to do some of the videos and the format for the videos going into this Let's Play, as well as my love and passion for cars in general. And so in this episode, we're really going to be diving into Seacrest County, taking a look at the events that we have available to us, and we're going to be doing them. So really, really cool stuff. Can't wait to bring this to you guys. So let's get ready for a fun-packed, action-packed episode. All right, now we got a new event type, Hot Pursuit. So let's let's start off with the racer and see what this Hot Pursuit is. So when it comes to the Hot Pursuit side of things, the Hot Pursuit event, as they will probably also explain to you, is just you will be racing with cops after you for the first time, for the first time, where they're trying to really hurt you, arrest you, all that stuff. These are the most fun events, arguably, in the game. Hot Pursuit, obviously, the name is indicative of the event type. This is what makes this game a lot of fun. And so we got two new vehicles that we acquired in the last episode: the Mazda RX-8 as well as the Dodge Charger SRT-8. So, as I said in the last episode, you can go to the end of the video if you'd like to see the cutscenes for both of these cars. But I think that looking at both of these cars, I gotta go with the tried and true JDM Mazda RX-8. So, without further ado, I will see you guys in the event. Alright, so getting into this, as you can see, same thing. You get the highest bounty for placing the highest. Also, as you can see, one thing I didn't point out is that there are weather conditions. So, in the rain, cars will be a bit more slippery. The handling won't be as good. In the sun and the dry weather, it'll be, the cars will be a lot stickier, a lot more grippy, stuff like that. So, just some things to point out. They don't make an insane amount of a difference, but enough to where it's noticeable. So welcome to our first Hot Pursuit. I'm really excited. Alright, when it comes to the RX-8, by the way, one of the most interesting things, as the lady mentions in the description of the car, is that they're rotary engines, and this is included in the FD, otherwise known as the RX-7. Basically, these cars, even though the rotary engines are fantastic, they sound really good, they're really incredibly fast. At the same time, the reliability comes into question. So, nothing that, you would really want to, even though they are really cool, just be wary of, the lack of reliability when it comes to, rotary engines. They're not exactly the best, but they sound great, they're really great and fun to tune with, but that reliability always comes into question. Alright, so we got our first Crown Vic on us. Now, the one thing about this game when it comes to the mechanics, this is still the era of catch-up. So, if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically if the cops or the racers fall too far behind, the game will essentially give them the ability to catch up, even though there shouldn't be any reason for them to catch up in the first place. And you'll see they'll come blazing up at 1,000 miles an hour, and you'll be like, how did they catch up when that was like a 1,000, miles ahead of them? It's kind of annoying. That's one of the major complaints I have about this game, is the catch-up feature is kind of BS. Not a big fan of it. But as you can see, the sound of this car, I love the sound of this car in this game. It sounds fantastic. This is the car that definitely I've always wanted to have myself at some point in my life as maybe a project car. I've liked this car ever since I was a kid and playing the other Need for Speed games. As I mentioned, like Izzy's RX-8 from Need for Speed Most Wanted, right? Nothing too much here, just continuing to drive along. I mean, there's the cops are not very tough this time around, or at least in this sense. You'll see it as we get into the higher difficulties, but for now, just kind of vibing. And I think what I'll also end up doing is, when there are moments like this where there's not too much happening, I'll probably end up cutting to maybe more exciting moments and stuff like that, or other conversation that I might have. Gonna take another shortcut here. Now, when it comes to shortcuts, keep in mind that because you're driving lower cars or some certain cars on dirt, you will be, going slower in some of them. Exotic cars or, nicer cars like this aren't necessarily meant to go onto dirt and drive quickly. As you can see, we're slowing down a little bit there. We're almost near the end of the first event of the day here. Nothing to worry about, and zoom. Very, very cool, very, very exciting. We got our first hot pursuit in, nothing too scary in that sense. Very happy with our performance there. Alright, increased our wanted level. We are now level 3. Are we level 3? I believe, right? Yep. Oh, we're just 2 now? Yep, we're level 2 now. Got a new car. Let's see what we get here. We get the Lancer. This is also an incredibly amazing car. I love the Lancer. I'm really sad that Mitsubishi actually ended up discontinuing the Lancer. it makes me kind of sad. Another new car. Let's take a look at what we got. We got the Chevrolet Camaro, and this is the era of Bumblebee. Of, you know, if you guys obviously being a Transformers fan, this is the model. This is the generation of you know, Monsieur Bumblebee from Transformers. Even though that you will never be able to get that same exact color that Bumblebee is, just due to the fact that that custom. For those of you who don't know, Bumblebee in the Transformers movies had a custom paint job that is not just regularly sold by GM. So we can do a preview, or we can do a dual event. And I think one thing we'll do is a preview. So for preview events, as they say, as you can see in the description, basically it allows you to drive a car that you would be unlocking in the way distant future. As indicative of this event, we will be driving the Pagani Cinque Roadster. And for these events, for these like preview events, I will be putting the car descriptions in the middle of the video, because I feel that that's appropriate for the, you know, the type of event that we are doing here. So let's drive the Zonda. In my opinion, one of the greatest cars of all time. Absolute beauty. This thing is a stunner. 217 miles an hour, $1.8 million price tag. 2010 it was manufactured in. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds with its V12. Let's listen to what else it's got.
Horatio Pagani and his team have once again created a piece of art able to speed over 350 kilometers per hour. Created in Pagani's Modenese studio, only 5 roadsters will be built, complementing the existing 5 coupes. The 7.3-liter V12 Mercedes-Benz AMG engine howls like a wild beast when the throttle is opened. This is accompanied by the sound of air rushing into the air intake, positioned just above the driver's head. The Carbo titanium monocoque needed only a slight redesign, due to its unique strength, to deal with the absence of a roof, which when removed is stored in the front. The wheel nuts are made entirely from titanium and feature the Pagani logo.
So what an absolute brilliant vehicle. This thing is stunning. I mean, when it comes to Pagani, you guys cannot deny, if you're a car fan, the absolute art that these cars embody. It's just beautiful. Everything is, the details, you know, they're all based on aircraft, right? Like, that's the idea of the interiors and a lot of the exterior design. The screaming V12, and yeah, they use an AMG engine, you know, AMG platform, AMG powertrain, but who cares, man? It sounds good, it's really fast, and it's a looker. And like she said, there was only 10 of these actually made, and then they made like 8,000 more special editions of this car before they finally released the Lyra. But yeah, this car is still, in my opinion, one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely stunner. Can't wait to drive this right here. Let's see, what color do we want? We'll just go with the white. Think it's all good there. So as you can see, just as I talked about in the last episode when it comes to events, the bounty reward is based on how fast we drive. And so if we get a 122 or less, we will get gold. So as you can see, when it comes to previews, it's just basically a time trial. Gives you a feel for the car. Oh, look at that car, baby. It's such a beautiful car. Oh my god, and the thing sounds like an absolute beast on the road. Never gotten the chance and privilege of looking at this car IRL, but I hope to one day, and man, what an absolute beauty. I mean, you can just, oh man, I'm just gonna have you guys listen to this for a minute. I mean, listen to that. It's just, oh, it sounds so amazing. I can't tell you any more about this. We got this really long shortcut. Now, this shortcut is pretty useful in a majority of the races that this shortcut is a part of. There's nothing really wrong with taking this shortcut. One thing about shortcuts you also notice is that they will indicate on the map that there's like the ability to have shortcuts. But the thing is like some of them aren't actually shortcuts. They're just like other roads, you know, and it really hammers in the idea of its knowledge of the track, knowledge of the road, knowledge of everything, right? So some pretty incredible stuff here. You know, stuff to know here. And that was not too bad. 114.1. We got the gold. Got some fat bounty. Got a new reward. Let's see what car we get here. The Z4. A car that I loved when I was a kid. I don't love it as much. The design, I still think it looks good, but I've grown sort of out of this car, even though I did love it when I was a kid. So as we've now finished a couple racer events, let's head off into starting some cop events again. So, as I stated, we're probably going to do about 2 to 3 cop and racer events per episode. Again, I want to keep both careers relatively the same amount of progress. And so since we started with a hot pursuit for the racer career, let's do it for the cop career. Alright, so in the last episode, we did get access to the Impreza, and with that, I will meet you guys in the event. So getting into the event, as you can see, the amount of bounty that we get is determined by how many busts we get. So as it's the racer's goal to get away from the cops, it's the cops' goal to bust as many racers as possible. So it makes sense that the highest number of busts that you can get in the race is also the highest amount of bounty that you'll be able to get as well. Luckily, it's not based on time or anything, so we're not too worried here. Now, when it comes to the WRX, I was actually considering this as a daily driver at some point, as the car that I drove. I've always liked these cars, the practicality, the speed, the fun. The only thing is I don't drive stick. I really wish I knew how to drive stick, I just don't have anyone to teach me. It's the unfortunate part. So time to bust some racers. So we have 9.8 miles, and we have to bust all these guys within that time limit. Within that mile range. So let's get to it. This is okay, well, he's dead already. Alright, goodbye. Let's see if we can slam into this guy. Ooh, man. And yeah, these really early races are just incredibly easy for the time being. Once we get into later races. Boom! Get the hell out of here. Oh, and that's one of the cool things about this game is slamming cars and, you know, slamming into them. It's really cool to just... Everybody loves smashing stuff, right? Come on. Come on. Go. Go. Oh, wow. That was... Really? That was it? I didn't think it'd be that easy. It was pretty easy, I guess.
Suspect in custody. This thing is over.
Really happy with that, I guess. 49 seconds. Not even a minute. Ooh, got some new cars. Let's take a look at what we got here. What do we got? Another Mazda RX-8 as our police car. As you can see, they're for the most part, the cop cars and the racer cars correspond with one another. You'll most likely be unlocking very similar vehicles, but you'll see some diversions in them. For example, instead of the Charger, we get this Ford Police Interceptor. So what's very interesting, at least at this bounty level to unlock, what's interesting is towards the end of the Let's Play, we'll be talking about the cars that were changed. Well, actually, when we meet up with them, you know, when we're going to encounter those cars. So when it comes to the Interceptor, this is a unique car to the cop side of things. This car does not exist in the racer side of things. When they remastered this game, there was some licensing issues, and as we'll explore in the further parts of the Let's Play, that this is pretty apparent with a few of the cars. So we'll talk about those as we encounter them. Alright, so now that we have done that Hot Pursuit event, let's do a new police event. What else are we going to do here? Let's do the Rapid Response. Now, the Rapid Response is an event that's very similar to the preview events. Now, the Rapid Response won't always, and neither will necessarily, well, the preview events will, but the Rapid Response won't necessarily always tailor you to be doing only like giving you only one car that you can choose from. When it comes to rapid response, the idea is it's a time trial. So it's like you're driving, police calls you, you need to respond to an emergency, you have to drive there as soon as possible. But there's some little caveats when it comes to the rapid response that differs from the previews. So let's get right into this event, the Past Master.
Throughout its entire production run from 1975 to 1989, the Porsche 911 Turbo was the top-of-the-range model from Porsche. Making use of turbocharging technology, which Porsche had begun experimenting with in the early 1970s with the Porsche 917, the 911 Turbo was developed to be a direct competitor for the much more expensive and exclusive supercars of the era. Although the car was no longer required as a homologation model, due to changes in the homologation rules, it became the basis for the 934 and the 935 race cars. The car proved to be very fast, but also very demanding to drive. Its short wheelbase, engine position, and power delivery contributed to a tendency to oversteer that required a high level of skill to control. A distinctive flared rear spoiler, wider rear arches, and upgraded tires were added to help increase grip and make the car more stable. The rear spoiler was later raised even more to allow enough space for the newer air-to-air intercooler, which was added to increase power even further. Stopping performance was also improved by using brakes similar to those found on the successful Porsche 917 race car.
I got a soft spot for this car. Always will, always have. This thing is brilliant. If you guys have seen the company Singer, oh man, Singer is an absolute joy of a company to watch their work. If you guys haven't, I'm gonna leave a link actually in the top right here to take a look at one of their videos that they posted. You guys gotta check this out if you're a Porsche fan. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So without further ado, let's drive this absolutely iconic vehicle. So as I stated, the major thing here is obviously you can see the shorter time, the higher the bounty. Now, there's one thing about this that I will point out. If you hit a wall and it considers it a collision, you will get 2 seconds added to your time. If you hit any traffic, 3 seconds. I've always dreamed of, grabbing one of these cars or, just seeing one of the, OG ones. Oh, man, I mean, it's just glorious. This car is absolutely fantastic, Another one, in my opinion, one of the greatest cars of all time.
You are required on scene immediately.
So you gotta move. Also, if you're playing on controller, I'm not sure what it is for keyboard, but if you press the left stick, which is the steering stick, you can change the tone of or change the siren. So we have the regular one here. If you press it, you get this one, and then you also get this one. And then I press it again just to get the original one back. But yeah, I'll also say some tips here that you'll notice as you get further into the game. A lot of the time, like just turning without drifting results in you actually slowing down a fair bit if you just weren't drifting in the first place. This happened a lot to me, as you can see, in 3 seconds. Kind of sucks. It happens a lot more than you think, and there's the collision, 2 seconds. I think we'll still be okay. Just gotta get that 240. There was one night, I'll admit, when I was practicing for this Let's Play where I frickin' was up until like 2 in the morning trying to beat my time on one of these rapid response things with different cars to try and experiment to see which one was possibly the fastest that you could get, the best possible time with the cars that you had access to. So yeah, I really got obsessed with that. But let's talk about this. Car sounds great. I think when it comes to Porsche, as I mentioned in the last episode, pinnacle of German engineering, this car in specific is just like one of those things where you know how iconic it is, like the original one, one of the original ones, when this original production run, when it was first created, you know that this thing was destined for greatness. Because this thing, basically, it offered the same power, well, not really the same power, but the same level of performance as some of the really big cars of that era, And so it was really nice to see a car that was a little more affordable, a little more sort of not necessarily tame, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. That was, could compete with the big boys, right? And so we have made it to the very of course there's a car. Why, man? Suck my wee wee. That blows. Whatever. I mean, we're fine. We still get the distinction, but it kind of sucks. As you can see, we have been promoted to level 2, which is really, really nice. Very, very exciting. So now we are going from a cadet to a cadet 2. But very exciting, very happy with that. And with that, we also get some new cars. Let's take a look at what we get here. Obviously the turbo that we just drove. It's really exciting there, so I skipped the frickin' cutscene because I suck. We got another new one, another Porsche, a Cayman. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. As you can see, that's a highway patrol unit, which means we've unlocked the next tier of classes when it comes to cops. So very, very exciting there. And I think with that, with all those explanations, new things that we're still getting into because we're still really getting accustomed to Seacrest County, we're going to end the episode there. So next time on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, we will be continuing our both racer and cop careers as we've unlocked new classes for both careers. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. Please like, comment, rate, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials linked in the description below. And with that, again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.
The RX-8 was launched in 2003 and has sold over 160,000 units worldwide. So far, this car has won more than 50 global awards, including many Car of the Year awards in 2003 and 2004. With a refreshed look and an improved performance, the latest RX-8 is still as stylish and fresh as it was when first launched. The Mazda RX-8's most unique feature has to be its Renesys rotary engine Genesis engine, which generates an incredible 232 bhp from a comparatively small, naturally aspirated 1.3 liters. Redlining at 9,000 RPM and with a very smooth power delivery, this light engine succeeds in creating an exciting driving experience. The 5-spoke wheel design features a shape which can be traced to the triangular rotor shape of its engine. Rear hinge doors show innovation in allowing passengers to easily access the rear seats while retaining an overall sports car size and shape. The Dodge Charger name is a historical one associated with performance. With 4-door flexibility, the Dodge Charger SRT8 is a sophisticated, versatile muscle car that excites at every turn. The 425 bhp that the 6.1-liter Hemi V8 generates makes it equally as powerful as the legendary Hemi engines of the muscle car era. The Dodge Charger also features an electronic stability control designed to assist drivers during extreme steering maneuvers. Prominent wheel arches house the familiar 5-spoke aluminum wheels, while the aggressive front grille, broad-shouldered fenders, and sloping fastback roofline allow the Dodge Charger to dominate the road in style. The Subaru Technica International Division was created in the late 1980s to coordinate development of Subaru's rally cars. They now also create high-performance consumer versions of the Impreza WRX, which combine power with precision and performance with practicality. Power is generated from a 2.5-liter 16-valve boxer engine with turbo and intercooler, generating over 300 bhp at 6,000 RPM. Trademark poise and pin-sharp handling are retained at all times. The 5-door hatchback design has been developed from the standard Impreza model. Noticeably widened body flares and a longer wheelbase with shorter front and rear overhangs clearly define the Impreza WRX STI and outline its performance credentials.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create.